Welcome to Diva on the Block on my new YouTube channel where we take you to the back streets of this whole blockchain, Bitcoin, and crypto shenanigans to give you a better understanding of what really is going on and how you can take advantage of it. My guest today is Tavonia Evans. She's the founder and CEO of Gwap Coin, a mother of 8 children, and a technology specialist with almost 20 years of experience. In today's episode, we talk about Tavonia's most recent project with Gwap Coin, how she does it all as a mompreneur and a mother of 8 kids, how she deals with being a woman, and on top of that, a woman of color, and how Gwap Coin is infusing the Buy Black movement. My name is Kiana Danial. I'm the founder of the Invest Diva Movement, where our mission is to help 1,000 moms start investing in the online financial assets the right way and make their money work for them. If you're new here and wondering who the heck I am, I'm an adjunct professor of investment management at universities in New York and in Japan. You may have heard of me or seen me on media like Fox Business, CNN, Forbes, and NASDAQ, and I've written 3 books on trading and investing topics. This is my new YouTube channel, so I'd really appreciate your support by subscribing, liking, and sharing these videos with any mom in your life who can benefit from it. If you're just getting started with investing, make sure to check out the link in the description area to discover how I make $12,000 per month using my weird Japanese investing system. Now, I had so much fun chatting with Tavonia, and I hope you love it. Let's go say hi to Tavonia, and let's rock the block. Tavana. Which one is correct? Tavana. I always butcher people's names and everybody butchers my name. So, okay. Tavana, I want to just get real with you today. And first of all, just tell me, how do you feel about being in this field and being a woman and being, woman of a color? I just want to know that first.
Well, I love it. I do, because it gives me like a geek playground, my geek mind. I love geeky things like this. So it gives me an opportunity to, learn new things, do new things, to code, do the things that I like to do. It's the brand new part of it is me kind of being out in the public with it. That's very brand new. It's hard. I have my extreme highs and in the past I've had my extreme lows, but I just try to keep it balanced now. I just, I try not to get too excited about things anymore. But it's really new. I don't have too many people who can advise me on things. I do most of the advising. So, it's a new space for me.
So, first of all, I'm right there with you. It's like one day is great, the next day is just horrible, and the ups and downs, like, can just 2 days be similar? Like, that literally happens to me. Like, one day I'm like, oh my God, I'm top of the world, everybody loves me. The second day, like, everything is just going down the rabbit hole. So, give us a little bit background. How did you get involved in this field?
Well, I've been in technology for over 20 years. When I was younger, my grandfather told me, if you get into tech, your life path is just going to be written for you. He was just like, my grandfather at the time was in his 70s and he didn't know anything about a computer. So I got into the computer field, and being in the computer field, I was always in a male-dominated environment, of course. I started out as an engineer, just a systems engineer, doing networking, all of that stuff that the guys in the white shirts and the ties used to do back in the days. Then I got into more of the creative side, and that was in the design and development, because I'm also an artist. So I got more into that and marketing. Started marrying them both together, started my own development company. And then I got into extra geeky stuff, which is the data stuff, got into data and working for the government and doing analysis. And then finally, I got, after starting my first official startup, I got into blockchain. And my first startup was a company called Safe to Me, and I thought it would be cool to integrate blockchain technology into that startup, but it was a little early for everybody else. And no one in my company knew anything about blockchain, and it was like, I don't know about that. I wound up leaving and starting Guap because that was coming from how difficult it was for me as a Black woman to raise funds for my startup. So I was like, man, I saw the, blockchain as the perfect opportunity to be able to raise funds for tech projects, that you have. So that was one thing. And then the other thing is, I was like, we need this in our community because, I'm really big on community economics, and I'm really big on helping repairing the value system of people of color worldwide. So I was like, this is perfect, so I kind of, just jumped all in.
So this is very fascinating that you went from data, where data is like the hot topic. I know blockchain is hot too, but data is like, nobody is declining that data is a big deal.
Right.
But you decided to switch from data to blockchain. Was there something that triggered you to make the switch?
Well, I think that being like a true kind of tech geek, you just see something new and you want to learn it and you want to absorb it. You're like, oh my God, this is great. And then you start digging into tutorials and, looking at the videos, and the next thing you know, you're reading books, and the next thing you know, you're like all in something else. You know what I mean? So it's
called being multi-passionate.
Right, because to me, it's all technology. It's all the same thing to me. I don't view it as different. It's technology.
So tell me a little bit about Guap. So you started this, and what stage are you at right now? What is the white paper about, and what's really the reason behind behind Guap?
Well, initially when we got in when at the beginning of the ICO. Well, not the beginning, sort of like the middle of the ICO craze. We got in then, and we had an Ethereum token at the time. Right? Because that was just the easiest way for us to get out. We knew we needed our own blockchain. I knew we needed our own blockchain. But I didn't know, working on limited funds and just getting into the blockchain space, I was like, I don't know if we could do this yet. You know what I mean? So we got in with Ethereum, I wrote the smart contract for that coin, and we put that out then. And we quickly realized how difficult it was going to be because of what we're doing and who our market is.
Who is your market?
Well, our market is, of course, the underbanked, the underserved, people of color, the African diaspora.
Would it be in the U.S. or is it worldwide?
Well, originally it began the U.S. because that's where I live. But to this day, I've been traveling all over the world, and everybody needs Guap. So it's no longer just the U.S. it's all over. I've been invited to many, many different countries that have people who are marginalized, just like African Americans in this country. So I'm like, this is a big thing for a lot of people, So, but my priority is African Americans because I kind of think that when it comes to these type of things, we kind of get left out of the conversation, and we do. So I'm like, we need to get educated and brought up to speed, and somebody, has to take that as their priority. So, that's kind of where our mission is based from.
I mean, I totally relate with that. Being a minority, literally my whole life. I'm Jewish. I lived in Iran, so I was like literally the only Jewish girl in my class. And then I studied engineering too. I studied engineering in Japan. I was the only girl in my class for 6 years. And it's just ridiculous. The amount of intimidation, the amount of, just being looked at as a weirdo. Like, what are you even doing here? And being left out of the conversation. First of all, I totally relate, and I admire the fact that you've taken this upon yourself to not only let this stop you from doing what you want to do, but actually help others. Mm-hmm. And it's admirable that you're focusing on the people that you care about, and which is your people, and it absolutely makes a lot of sense because then they're going to relate to you. Because you were there, you were one of them, and now look at where you are, and you can obviously help them. So tell me about the Guap project. So is this going to be like a peer-to-peer coin so that just African Americans can
No.
shop?
Actually, it's a decentralized project. We're building our community. My priority is educating African Americans and people of color, but I one day envision everybody using Guap Coin. You know what I mean? But, you know, sometimes you gotta, when you see that there's an area that's left out, you know, you gotta go into that area and kind of like, okay, you know, educating, this is what's going on, you know, make people aware so that, you know, they have a fair shot at prospering in this system. You know, and we're not seeing that in general crypto. So, and we're not seeing that for the masses anywhere. That's why we don't have mass adoption. You know, so people have to take certain segments, certain areas, certain families, like you say, Jewish families. You may go to Jewish families, you may go to, you know, Palestinian, whoever. You go to these countries or you go to these people, these are your people, and say, hey, this is what's going on in the world right now. This is about to take over your paradigm. You know what I mean? So, you know, it's something that we all have to do. So I just picked a segment, of course, the easiest segment the most natural segment for me. And I'm like, okay, we need to do this. We need to take this more seriously. And people tend to take it more seriously when they see faces that they can identify with.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's all about the psychology at the end of the day, because you might want to do it, but you might be intimidated to do it because nobody else who looks like you is doing it.
Yeah.
But once you see that person, oh my God, like it empowers you. So I want to actually just go ahead and bring up, so Guap Coin, is it now, is it investable? Are you past the ICO stage? Give us a little background.
So what are we doing? What we're doing is, of course, because of the expense of just the technology expansion and everything, we raise money by something called masternodes. We have masternodes. We're a masternode coin. So just like Libra is getting people to invest in their nodes and buy nodes to get this out, we're getting people to get Guap coin nodes to become Guap governors, is what we call them.
So I just brought up your website.
Pull up the .org site, because I think that more reflects where we're at right now.
So it'll be guapcoin.org.
Mm-hmm. There you go. So, you know, it's a pull up. Yeah.
All right. So are you competing with Libra? And if so, how?
You know, I think that Libra will help us, honestly. I think that Libra may actually turn out to be a helpful thing. Of course, it needs some type of, I think it does on the side of the regulators, it does need a little bit of, you know, you can click on our community and you'll see some of the community members. What we're doing right now is we're adding community members. So
I love it. Everyone is African American.
yeah. So we're highlighting. These are some of the people who have masternodes, and it's only a fraction.
And the logo is black and gold. It's like truly speaking to the audience. Love it.
Yeah. So we're adding. We're trying to highlight that our community, you know, who our community is, and that these are all different kinds of people. And all of these people have been helpful in terms of Gwap at this point and going beyond. So
actually, I wanted to give a shout out to my friend Sherry Amy. Are you familiar with her?
Cherie from yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so I think I would love to, if you're not if you haven't met each other yet, I think you guys are gonna hit it off.
Mm-hmm. We have.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were saying, tell me, so you got the wallet, and so, I mean, I would say you're saying that Facebook is going to be good for the industry as a whole, which I agree with, because they're going to bring the attention that we need.
Yes, and they're the only ones, honestly, with the kind of money it's going to take to face
and the amount of data, obviously, like they are the ones that actually can make it happen. But my problem with them, like that you don't have, yours is a decentralized blockchain and exchange, but Facebook as of now is still
and see the thing is, Facebook is a stable coin. So, you know what I mean? Libra is a stable coin. So, you know, stable coins are not decentralized.
So how about Guap? Is it going to be?
Yeah, Guap is decentralized. So
is it not a stable coin at all?
We're not pegged to anything. We are following in the footsteps of Bitcoin.
Okay. Gotcha. So give us the top 3 qualities of Guap coin, and that would, I understand that your target audience, like you've done your marketing, your target audience perfectly, but give me 3 qualities of Guap coin that make it better than its competition. Let's say there are other.
For our market, it helps to give us a financial voice. Because the statistics show that African Americans and people of color are one of the largest spenders. We're also some of the largest trendsetters in the world, but that does nothing to reinvest in our communities. So, for instance, we had a big thing last year where everybody was talking about boycott Gucci because of something that they had put out. But to get these companies to pay attention to you, these companies pay attention to money. You know what I mean? They pay attention to finances. They pay attention to a financial voice. And we see Guap coin as being able to be a financial voice. In the future, we know that companies like, say, I like to use, for example, Walmart, they'll be taking cryptocurrencies one day. They'll be accepting various cryptocurrencies. So if one day that they're able to accept Guap coin, you can spend with your voice. You know what I mean? You can spend with your community. You can align with your community. So you can turn around and say, you know what? I'm going to make my purchases with Guap coin because I'm aligning my financial voice with a movement that is working for the betterment of my community. So if at the end of the day, let's say Walmart is looking at quarterly profits. Walmart could see quarterly profits and could see it profited very well from the people who spent with Guap coin. They can't deny that. And because blockchain is, public and decentralized data that's available for everybody, this is something that the community will be able to look and see what type of impact our spending, what type of power our spending is going to have. And I think that that's something that would impact us not only on a financial level, but on a social level and even on a psychological level.
I love it. We are the children of African diaspora. So in the next, what is next for you? What are the projects that you're working on right now?
Well, the next thing for us is we're currently working on our decentralized exchange, which is the DEX you pointed to. So that's one aspect. The co-aspect we're working on is education. So we have to educate people about what is this decentralized movement about. I've come to find out that most of us don't have a clue as to what decentralization is. You know what I mean? So as much as less cryptocurrency. So we look at it and we see this cryptocurrency, and a lot of people ask me the same questions. Is this a stock? Is this this? Is this that? Is this that? Do you own this? Do you do? You know what I mean? And they ask the same question. So we have to educate them and tell them no. Like even me, no, I don't own this. This belongs to the community. You know what I mean? Yes, I thought of it and whatever, but I'm working on the community for this to be a community thing. We're trying to push this decentralization movement out to the community. We got to.
Right. I mean, that is exactly the reason why I wrote my book, Cryptocurrency Investing for Dummies, like right over there. It's just because people don't get it. It's like, okay, what is it?
And they don't.
And when they don't get it, it's very easy to label it as a scam. And then you're defending yourself as not being a scam. And it's just, oh my God, I'm like just tired of defending myself.
Yeah. And I'm telling them, come own this, take ownership in this, because people come to me and they say, I think this would be a great idea to do with Gwap. I'm like, okay, do it. I'll support you. You know what I mean? We can do anything with this because that's what this is about. So, they come to me and they look kind of for me to do it. You know what I mean? And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that. We're all supposed to do this. We're all supposed to just, take this and run with it. So it's kind of hard to push that kind of freedom on people.
Right. Yeah. It's just all a part of, our world actually becoming more peer-to-peer, more connected, and people doing it as a crowd psychology, doing things as a whole, as opposed to one person doing it and other people following it.
Yes. Take this and run. Integrated this. You want to put this in your app or whatever. I'm here to offer my advice how to do this. I can help you, in terms of advice and advisory, stuff like that. But actually, one day I want to be able to go back to my kids. You know what I mean?
So wait, you got 8 kids. Wait, am I even right? Like, what? All right, I have 1 kid, and I'm like, oh my God, I don't have time. So what? Tell me about how you do this while being a mother of 8 kids. How old are they?
Well, my oldest is now 24, and that's my girl. I have 2 girls and 6 boys.
Oh.
My oldest daughter is 24. I have a son who's 22. I have one that's 21. 20.
Oh my God, how old are you?
I'm 44. I'll be 45 next month.
All right. I'm sorry. I know I'm not going to say it, but you guys look young. Like you know what I'm referring to. I'm not supposed to say it. Okay. What's your youngest? How old is your youngest?
My youngest is 9 and she's a girl. So look at girls and then all boys in between. Then I have a grandson who's 3. So he's our newest.
You're a grandma?
Yeah, I am.
Oh my God. All right. You're one good looking grandma. Okay. So this is because I serve moms and parents, and it is very, very hard. You got a ton on your plate. I can only imagine how much you got on your plate with all the kids. And I mean, even though they are now older, but now you got a grandchild and you want to spend time with them. So how do you balance your life and this massive movement?
Balance is pretty important to me, and it's gotten more important to me as I've gotten older. I would work many, 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 many hours, and especially on Gwap, for the last couple of years. But at least from this year, I started to say to myself, well, you know what? Now you got to start balancing it back out. You got to get your half of your joy and the other half of your work. You got to kind of weigh it out. So I force myself I tell myself, okay, you got time. Time is not running out. Just calm down. Go take a break. Go take the kids to the movies. Go to Dave & Buster's or something. Go have fun. I'm also a VR fan. So I have my Oculus Quest. So I at least a day out of the week, I'm gonna take a couple hours and I'm gonna play my VR, because I'm a real true geek. And I tell you, I'm a geek. Serious. So that's kind of how I try to stay in touch with my inner child. All my kids help me do that. They. So
you have open conversations with them to help them realize what you're trying to achieve and what their position is.
Yeah.
I think that is like super important, because it is very hard for me at least, is like, okay, you get down, you're so passionate about the business. That is also your baby, like the business, the coin, the whatever, your movement is your baby as well. So it's like the balance of it. So how do you not take out the things that go wrong in your business on your kids?
Woo! I think I could more take out the things that go wrong with my kids or my business. But not too much the other way around. But, I guess the most difficult part is I also look at my community almost like my children. I identify them that. So when I feel like I'm not living up to their standards or I'm not pleasing them, that's the hardest part for me. You know what I mean? So if I feel like, I'm disappointing my community, then I take that really hard. My kids, I don't take it hard because I know they'll be okay in like 5 minutes. They're like,
they got your trust, the community.
Right. But, sometimes you can think it's the end of the world when you're working with the public and you get like a big, like something like this is so new and experimental. You can have problems. I've had chain problems on the blockchain. I have wallet problems. The same typical stuff that every other blockchain has.
Yeah.
But when you're dealing with a new community that does not know anything about this, it's hard because they're looking like this, like, what kind of mess is this? This doesn't work. You know what I mean? Or this isn't working, or this isn't working. But it's like, this is normal blockchain stuff. You know,
it's evolving. Like,
it's evolving. So that becomes the hardest part because you're like, you could wake up in the morning and, you got some wallets going off sync or some nodes going down or something like that. And I have to play the senior support because not too many people really know.
That's my biggest problem too. People are like, why don't you hire like a customer? So like, nobody understands it better than I do.
Yes.
It's hard. It's tough. And that just shows how much you really care about the business and how much, it's basically, it's your goal, I guess, in life.
Yeah.
So I got a last question for you, and I ask this from everyone. So Guap coin is awesome, and I wish you the best of luck with it, obviously. But other than Guap coin, what is your favorite crypto and why?
My favorite crypto. That's hard. I would say my favorite crypto, of course, is Bitcoin.
Okay.
Because I mean, it's the granddaddy. You know what I mean? You got to give props to the granddaddy. I tell everybody that. I think that for us, Bitcoin was more of a way shower. You know what I mean? To letting us know that, wow, you can obtain, you do have the freedom to create certain things. And you can make choices. You can have an alternative when something is not working for you. You know what I mean? So I think it kind of gave us hope that, you know, that we can come together, where we can govern, you know, our finances and ourselves and make decisions rather than the middleman having to dictate how we do everything, you know? So it gave us hope. So I think that for that, I think Bitcoin is definitely
and that was interesting. I mean, I totally understand what you're saying, but I was kind of thinking because Guap coin is on Ethereum, you might want to go with Ethereum.
No, actually, it's not on Ethereum.
Oh.
We have our own blockchain now.
Okay. So, it started on Ethereum.
Started out on Ethereum.
Gotcha.
I do like Ethereum. I definitely like the you know, the ability to do smart contracts. Like, everything has its thing, but you know, I'm more of a I just like to give my props to the, you know,
to the top one.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I only gave you one choice, so
yeah, exactly.
What is your best?
Exactly. And Bitcoin is limited in terms of what it does. It does what it does, you know. So
yeah, it's slower. It's but I mean, definitely it was a leader and the pioneer. And pioneers may not always be the winners, but those are the ones who showed us the way. That makes absolute sense. Okay, thank you so much for joining the blog, and I'm pretty sure that everyone on the viewers took something away from this. And I can't wait to future success. And people who are watching, thank you so much for watching us. And if you have any questions, ask it in the comments, and I'm sure somebody's gonna get back to you. Right? All right, thank you, and I'll see you in the next episode of Diva on the Block.
Thank you.
Right, before you leave, we ask everybody to make a silly face. Yes. Give me your best silly face.
When the blockchain blows up, when nodes are stuck.
It comes with a soundtrack.